Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you're well. Welcome to episode 132 of CrossButton VR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Reece, and it's an honor to be joined once again by Laurie. He's
Hello,
back.
Reece.
He's back.
Back again, 2 weeks on the
From
row.
outer space. I can't remember
2 weeks
the
on the row?
words.
2 weeks
Two,
in a
two,
row, I meant
yeah,
to say.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks
Yeah,
in a row.
on a row.
This is some rush of VR games that you've actually managed to get me to play.
Oh. Foreshadowing.
Remarkable. You doing well?
I am doing good. I will put a whittle warning. I've
A
had
whittle warning.
got the door open, so if you see cats running around in the background, noises, it will be the cats, and yeah. So enjoy the cat or
There
whatever.
must
It's
be
my
some
home.
way you can tag podcasts with like cats or.
If you
To say
heard
there's a cat in
purring
this
down the
podcast,
microphone, even
and you will
better.
get straight up to the top of the viewing.
Oh,
I can see one.
is it on the camera? I should make my camera big so I can actually see what's going on, but no, let's just crack on. So, should we drive straight into the main topic?
Let's. Why not?
Okay.
I'm dying to talk about it. So
I know.
please do.
Joe, I'm going to start it off before we even say the name of the game. Like, you messaged me, and I think it was what you said, made by 5 fucking wizards. And I messaged it straight across to the developers. And I think we made their evening with that comment you made. And the game,
Well, I'm glad to hear.
game I'm talking about is of Lies and Rain. So, do you want to dive in and say your thoughts?
Well, let's just start right there with the fact this is 5 people that have made this. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah,
I cannot get my head around how 5 people can make a game this good. To me, like 5 people that should be making kind of like really basic kind of pixel art things and like something that's really sort of simple and straightforward to program. Like this is just seems so much more technologically advanced than that. And yeah, you have like huge studios with like hundreds and hundreds of employees making games, and like this is better. It's crazy. This is just like better on
more
in every
advanced,
aspect. In every aspect, it's incredible. Yeah, I can't get enough of this game, and it's almost frustrating because it's quite hard for me to play VR. I live in a family home with kids and my wife, and the PS5 is in the family room, which is kind of in the middle of the house with the sort of kitchen and dining room off it. So I can't just sit there during the day and play VR. I need to wait for everyone to bugger off and go to bed, which is kind of why I had to stop doing this podcast mainly, just because it's quite hard to find the hours needed to play enough games to host a weekly podcast. But with stuff like this, I'm like, I can't. I stop playing it. When I'm not playing it, I'm just thinking about it, and I'm just thinking about when the next time I can play. And like when I'm supposed to be working during the day, I'm just going to jump in on my lunch hour and just play a quick half hour. And I never do that. It's got me so under my skin, and I feel bad for Reach because we'll come and talk about that a bit later again. But that's kind of been put aside awaiting patches, and I'm just like, oh man, this is so good. Of Lies and Rain. Yeah, you say it's his kind of Half-Life Alyx, which is obviously one that I've never played.
It's incredibly inspired. Like even down to some of the enemies' design and things like that, you can see there's a lot of inspiration. And I think I said it. Go on.
I was going to say they didn't make any kind of apologies for that. They didn't try and hide the fact, did they?
No, they don't.
They've been kind of upfront about saying this is very much a homage and yeah.
I think everybody knows that still to this day, even though some people might not say it's the best VR game to them, Half-Life Alyx still has a lot of pinnacle things in it that are now common in VR. But I think to have a game like this that isn't Half-Life Alyx, but still has this full-fledged story that's very in-depth, great voice acting, a lot of things to do, so much interaction to the point where, like, on one of them, you literally get the crowbar and you reach it through the barrier and you can open doors with the crowbar. Absolutely awesome. Like, there's so much interaction with this game that you just don't get with a lot of VR games. And I think that's also where you kind of feel that little Half-Life Alyx. I mean, even to the point of the way you upgrade, things like that. There's so many things that you just look at and you go, that's Alyx. But it's also, it feels like its own. It doesn't feel like a carbon copy. And they have done a really great job. And I mean, except for 5 people to do something that looks and plays very similar to Half-Life Alyx, probably not up there with the quality as much of Half-Life Alyx's graphics, but at the same point, Half-Life Alyx had a huge budget made by so many different people, whereas this is a small,
slightly deeper pockets.
Exactly my point, and it's just baffling how they've managed to do this. And I mean, when this was first got announced to come to PSVR2, they kind of reached out to a lot of the community and was like, "What do you want to see? What do we need to do to make this a port that you're going to be happy with?" And from the get go of that, I had a lot of respect for them, just simply because you don't see a lot of devs doing that. You don't see a lot of devs trying to understand what the players want on that system, because
Hmm.
PSVR2 does have different intricacies that other headsets don't necessarily have. And the fact that they
Yeah,
took everything on board, from using the Pro and giving it more refresh rate, FPS and things like that. It's they've really taken everything on board, and I think it's shown in a really good
and
way.
that's funny you say that because I played it for a while and I was like, I really like this game, and I know Reece likes this game. I was just curious to see what other members of the community thought about it. So I watched Gamer Tags VR video on it that came out a few months ago when it was just Quest and PC review, and that was kind of an
Yes,
early access build. And he was commenting a lot of the things he was not picking up with the game, because he was again being really fair and acknowledging that this is a small team, early access game, and he was highlighting some of the problems with it. And I was like, the version I'm playing, that isn't what the
yeah,
case. That they fixed that, and it's almost like they watched Game Tech's video and then they've just put their heads down for another few more months of developing, because he was complaining there isn't the sounds of footsteps, and so it just feels like your camera moving around with floating hands. And I'm like,
that
it
was
just is
how.
constantly footsteps,
Yeah,
and it's like footsteps that react to if you're walking on the pavement, if you go up and down stairs, it's a metal sound effect. So I was like, the footsteps was something that I was thinking that's something that's impressed me. So to hear him say that wasn't even in it a few months ago, I was like, oh
yeah,
wow. And that was one I can remember. But there was a few other things that he kind of picked up on that are just not in the. That's not what the game's like anymore. It's they've kind of finished it, and they really have, to your point, taken on board
100%.
what the community was saying and implemented those improvements.
Because I've got further on like the Quest build than I have on the PSVR2 version. I still need to play more of the PSVR2 version. I've been really busy with other stuff, but like it's still a great game on both platforms. Obviously, the Quest is a bit more dimmed down as you'd expect, but I did play it during
Yeah.
the early access stage on Quest, and I didn't notice the footsteps not being there at first. And the minute I watched Gamertag's video and he mentioned that, I went back in and I was like,
Like,
"You
oh, thanks,
fucker!"
mate.
Yeah,
You've ruined the game.
I commented on his thing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Joe, what? I didn't notice that until you mentioned it, and the fact that you've mentioned it, I can't walk 2 steps without going. Why can't I hear myself? Like it completely ruined the whole aspect of the game just by not having footsteps and knowing it. Whereas before, it was almost like my brain was kind of registering that I could hear footsteps even though I couldn't.
And that's a
And
great kind of example of how that kind of VR development is different to normal video game developing.
exactly,
And you need that grounding in the world to give yourself the presence in the world. And just, it's an easy fix, but it's just, there isn't getting that feedback to them. So, yeah, fair play to everyone in the community that gave them that feedback and allowed them to go on and improve their game. I started playing on Quest, and all things being equal, if I can play a game on both of them, I would generally prefer the Quest as a headset now, just because it's untethered and I can play it upstairs and it's just more convenient.
yeah, it's
I can
convenient for your
play it a bit
lifestyle, isn't
more.
it? Really,
Yeah, it's easier for me to play than it's taking over the whole downstairs of the house to play PSVR 2. And I played some of this. I played probably the first kind of an hour or so, and oh man, it's like it runs
it's
and
a
it's
big
nice and smooth,
difference.
but oh, it's just a low resolution, man. It looks like a 3DS game. It's so low
So
res. It's kind of a bit like Reach, but kind of like worse. The kind of
yeah,
the difference.
it's worse.
And I played it for a bit, I was like, oh man, no, I can't stay on this. I'm going to try out the PSVR 2 one, and, and I'm playing it on PS5 Pro, where they've got some PS5 Pro enhancements to it, and God, it looks so crisp. And they've got the quality of the performance, so you can target frame rate. Or I'm just playing it with quality mode, so it's got the absolute sharpest resolution they can do, and it looks so good. Reese, it looks so good, man.
Yeah,
It's so crisp, sharp, and I think just because of the contrast of having played an hour on Quest, and it's like, whoa, it's like back in the day when I remember growing up and like my mate used to got like a new PC, and we went from playing like Quake 2 in like a really low resolution to an ultra high resolution. It's like, whoa, it's like that.
well, that was like me. I mean, like I played this game first as a demo on PSVR2, and then the early access didn't come to PSVR2, so they only did Quest and PC. So I then played it on Quest, and instantly I was like, "Yep, I can see the drop. It's there. I can see the frame drops as well that were showing up while I was playing it." But at the same point, I was
Yeah,
like, "It runs and it functions, and I'm still enjoying myself." And going back onto
yeah,
like, obviously, I'm having to replay sections that I've already played on the PSVR2 version, which is kind of making me realize that maybe for me this isn't a game I would like to replay, because now I've played the same, like the beginning section I've now done 3 times in a row. So it's kind of like
yeah. I can see how that kind of
I'm kind of
sours the
like this.
enjoyment of stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit. it's grating on me now. Not that it's bad or anything. It's just that I know what's coming. I've got no reason to listen to the dialogue, and I feel like I'm just kind of just rushing through it. But
Hmm.
at the same point, I'm getting to the point, getting a bit closer to where I'm meant to be, and I'm excited to kind of continue off because I didn't finish on the quest because I started to notice the frame drops a little bit too much, and then other stuff released, and I was like, okay, cool, let's put that on the back burner until it comes out of early
It's
access.
I'm surprised Sony isn't putting more weight behind it, but I'm not surprised actually because it's fucking Sony
Yeah,
and they just
yeah,
don't give a shit. But Sony really should be pushing this as an example as to why PSVR2 is better for some games for VR and this sorts of games that you need the power of the PSVR2 or a really expensive PC to do justice to these things. And I think if you look at the side by side with Quest 3, fair play to devs. It runs on Quest 3, and that is a mobile headset, so I don't want to take anything away from that. It's still a
yeah,
remarkable achievement getting it going on Quest 3, and it's still being a fully playable and enjoyable build. But if you have the choice of where you can play it, then 100% play it on PSVR 2.
yeah.
There's
I'd
no
even say
competition to me.
even PC, but I mean, I'd even argue like from my perspective that the PSVR2 version is probably one of the best versions of this game, just simply because of the haptics. Because they've taken everything into account with the controllers. So when you kind of
Yeah,
then play this on PC,
adaptive triggers as well.
yep,
That's so good.
they've thought of
So
everything.
good.
They've taken everything into account. So like, even though the PC has the quality, it doesn't have all these other features that really do make it awesome. But then some people might not be too bothered about that stuff, and if you're not, then you're going to get a good time out of the PC or the PSVR2. But for me, yeah, the PSVR2 version is trumps this. Like, I mean, it's very. I wouldn't say it's very rare that I say a PSVR2 version is always the best version. There's some games where I'll be like, PC still probably is better than the PC one, but for me, like, this is like top tier on PSVR2. This is the staple point of what games should be on the PSVR2. And I'm not
Yeah,
diminishing what other developers bring at any point in time, but like, I think we don't get something like this a lot. This is like an 8 to 10 hour campaign as well. You don't get this kind of length of the game to play through with this much quality all the
yeah.
time. It's, you get all these various little ports that take about 2 hours to complete. And you kind of just
Yeah,
appreciate what you get now.
this is a proper. I suppose just say take a step back for people that have got no idea what this game is. It's a adventure game. Involves kind of shooting mechanics, climbing mechanics, and a bit of very light puzzling kind of exploration
Yeah,
type thing. So it's set in the future where some AI has taken over the world. It's a bit Matrixy, where kind
yeah,
of the machines have
yeah. I'd
taken
say a bit
over.
post-apocalyptic Matrix style sci-fi
You've
game.
you've got these little flying squid things that fly through the air that try and get you. You've got these kind of little spiders that try and get you, these little scorpion things. How did you do the spiders, by the way? I thought
Joe,
you did when
what?
I saw the spiders
Joe,
jumping
what?
out.
When I first loaded this game, I was like, "Why the fuck do you have to have spiders? What is it? They've developed thing. Why do you have to add spiders to the game?" And then weirdly,
They scuttle about. They're quite
and
creepy.
then that was when I started kind of noticing the joint between this game and Half-Life Alyx, the enemy design, is the ones that kind of dangle from the ceiling as well, which always
Yeah,
seem to make me
yeah.
jump whenever you walk under it and they just kind of pop out. So fuck off. Um,
Again, it's all very kind of organic growth, but also quite like
yeah,
roboty, machiney as well. So it's a kind of again, I like the robots in the Matrix. It's a very much there's a lot of influence from the Matrix, I think, in this as well. Which, if you're someone like me that grew up with the Matrix film and films, the rest of the films, but only really the first one, anyone cares about. It's I really like that about
some
it.
would
I love it.
disagree, but they shouldn't.
And so yeah, all of humanity's fled underground. You're there and just exploring this underground. You pop up above ground
it's
occasionally, but there's all this kind of mercury rain that will kill you if you stay outside for too
it's
long. So you're scurrying around underground mainly.
I was gonna say, now you've mentioned that, like the amount of inspirations I can see from different games in terms of the story. Like, you've mentioned Matrix, but another one I'd love to say is Metro. It's got that,
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
been
for sure.
a warfare. Something's happened. Now you're scurried underground. But
But
going back to your question with the spiders, I was fine with them until they pounced. I didn't realize they were going to start pouncing at first.
yeah,
That's when I
they're
was like,
kind of like
oh
a face hugger as well, aren't they? They're kind of like
yeah,
an alien face hugger as well as a spider.
yeah. That's when I was kind of
So
like,
yeah,
no,
two
fuck
for
that.
one there in terms of your phobias.
Just a VR
Yeah.
phobia,
So
weirdly.
yeah, again, like an alien thing there as well.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot of
uh,
inspiration. They've done a really good job.
but yeah, and so yeah, you're tasked with kind of taking down the AI. You're one of the only people that can stop them. You've got some power that you can interact with the data world, which is kind of like you can kind of hack the AI's world basically. And as well as the real world that you're spending most of your time in, you can go into what they call data worlds.
Yep.
And Reece, I would have had a whole game. I'd happily play a whole game just in data world. Like I'm so excited when you see one of those machines, you stick your hand into it, and it takes you into the virtual VR, like the kind of the data world.
I love the gravity thing. Like,
Yeah, you've got
just
kind of
keep
a
doing that.
bouncy. You could do
Just keep doing that.
Yeah, and I just love the fact because in the real world, there's not that much stuff to shoot, and you have to conserve your ammo, and there's not that many enemies. On that, I really like the fact, and this is because you guys that love your kind of fast-paced shooters and action stuff, and you're there like popping off like shots and reloading on the fly, like. It gets a bit much for me, and I can't be doing with it. Whereas this is much slower and methodical, and the enemies aren't that quick. And maybe they'll get harder and more faster throughout the game. But to start off with, at least, I like the fact I've got plenty of time to reload, and I can take my time, and I can just kind of strafe and move backwards away from stuff if it's approaching me, just to sort of sort my reload out. And the reload's not too fiddly. It's really easy the quality of life, the way they've done it, to pop out the mag and put a new one in, and it feels really good without being too complicated. And I think they've just got that perfectly, that balance between doing that VR interaction with things, but without being it too fiddly. And I hate it when you have to kind of, it's too fiddly a thing, you have to sort of pull back and cog into place and stuff. It's the pistol especially is really good, and I like you can upgrade it and do things with it, and you can put the laser sight on it. It's all really cool. But then when you get into the gravity world, and you then can just pop off shots, that you have a kind of wireframe gun that can just do infinite shots, and then that turns
It's like
into
a weird,
gun later on as well.
It's like a crossbow, isn't it?
It's a crossbow, and it makes a crossbow sound, and the trigger feels like a crossbow when you release it. That's all cool, and I love the double jump thing. It's just such a cool little risk reward, because throughout the game you're collecting these little cubes, these GPUs they call them. I forget why. I wasn't listening probably when they explained what it was all about.
Yeah, there was a reason to it.
But you collect them, and that's what you use to do your upgrades. So when you're in these data worlds, there's loads of them in the data world, but some of them are in quite challenging places. And if you die in the data world, if you fall to your doom, it's kind of quite complex platform. And if you fall, they throw you out, and you have to go back in and do it again. So there's a really good like risk reward element. You think, oh, shall I go for it? And if I fuck it up, I'm going to get thrown out, and I'm going to have to start this little section again. Or I can just leave them, and I can just easily get to the thing I need to do to get out of this world and progress the level, to progress the game. And I just love the fact that it's like, can I do it? Am I good enough? Have I nailed this double jump enough? I think, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. And then when you pull it off, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, have you played enough platforming games to master this? But yeah, go back to like what you said about the weapons as well, like the reload mechanic. Again, that's purely inspirational from Half-Life Alyx, because that's how you reload. There, you kind of shoot and pull the ammo from your back instead of like a belt or something, which is always a cool thing, because belts you can kind of fumble around a lot with, can't you? Really, it just can be a bit annoying. But I think it's really cool.
I fucking hate that on VR, where you're looking down at yourself and you can't quite see it.
And then you can't see the enemy coming to you as well. And
I makes the camera go all fidgety and stuff, and you just can't. Yeah, and you got like you accidentally turn up your menu, or you've for God's sake. Yeah, so your ammo is really easy to get to. Each controller, you've got your one inventory of kind of your items, like your health packs and your grenades and stuff, and the other one's just for guns. So that's all good. I would have liked the ability to swap around the X and triangle buttons, because I'm forever ejecting my magazine when I want to just change to a different gun. Forever doing that. That's really annoying. And if I could, because me in my head, I just want to be able to swap those two buttons around so they do the opposite thing. That's in my brain keeps. I think I would have thought I got used to it by now, but apparently not. Apparently I'm still stupid. And
I love it. No, I'm not going to let you tell you that, because I'm still to this point where people go, "Oh, what button is it to come do that?" And I'm like, 2 seconds. Let me go and pop. It's this one. Like I still to this day, I can't remember. It's X and circle. And I don't know why. How much PSVR2 have we played these now? A
PlayStation controller. Obviously I can. It's muscle memory, and I know where cross, triangle, circle, square are. But on the VR, the sense controllers, I don't know where the buttons are. Which one? I'm always looking down. I'll have to sort of lift the thing up and just check which one is X and which one is triangle.
I mean, it's the exact same out. Exactly the same. It's the exact same out. It would be on like a PlayStation. So the X and the circle will be on the top hand of the right controller, and the X will be at the bottom. And on the left, it'd be the square at the bottom and the triangle on the top. But still to this day,
because they're like it's a diamond shape, whereas they're kind of above each other. So
yeah, but that's how they've done it. So they kind of, if you was to kind of put your sense controllers like that, then it will kind of form how the buttons would normally be. But even with even though I know that, when I'm in the VR, I'm like, what button is it?
Yeah,
It's a weird one.
But the gravity gloves as well, you get those put
Yep,
on, so you
they're
can
great.
grab stuff. You can just hold stuff out. I love the way you kind of have to sort of flick stuff and then touch it again to grab it. That's really just feels really natural. You feel really cool doing it when you sort of get good at it.
I
Yeah,
also
it's
like
such a
the
better
fact,
mechanic than other VR stuff where you just sort of hover and press a button and it just zooms and just
yeah,
sticks to your hand.
and it also kind of really plays a part in some of those physical puzzles that are not puzzles, but it's like certain elements. Like, because on one of the bits, very early in the game, you walk in an area and you see a crowbar hanging on a
Yeah,
fence, and you can use that crowbar to open cupboard doors. And inside
yeah,
them cupboard doors, a load of GPUs, and you've got to use your gravity glove to try and move them all out. And for me, I think that was such a fantastic part of the game. Like, even though it's not a big part of the game, and some people may look at it and go, "Yeah, fuck that," comes we'll walk off. For me, it's like it was just fun to do, and I love that they've kind of really blended in that physical puzzle element that you can do. Well, not really puzzle, but yeah, physical element
yeah.
of the environment mixed with
I think
this gravity glove.
on that at the very start, they show you're in like a locked door and there's a key swipe thing,
Yeah.
and the key card is on the other side of the door, and you think, well, how am I supposed to get that? And then you're like, oh wait, hold
Ah.
on a minute, hold on a minute, I can just flick the thing towards me and through the gate. So that's a very good way to teach you because they make it really obvious where to see the swipe card. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's just
One
a lot of
thing
fun.
So the one thing I don't like about this game is the way that they deliver the story. Is you kind of wake up and you're a character that's lost their memory, and then luckily you've got someone on your radio who's
Again.
conveniently will explain it to you. And it's like, if that was me in the real, I'd be like, right, okay, hold on, I'm not moving until you've explained everything to me. But the way she kind of doles out little bits of stuff just to
And
sort of
it's like every time she
keep the chatter going over the first hours of the game. And I think if it was real life, you'd be like, hold on a minute, I'm fucking terrified. I'm not moving another muscle until you explain everything here. Okay. Right, I've got all the time in the world. We're going to spend a good hour going through all this, but it
what's
doesn't work
great.
like that. She has to just explain things gradually to you.
uh,
And I'm a bit like, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought going on that kind of thing, like where you want to move and things like that. Because in real life you wouldn't, but it's almost like every time she goes to say something that's really important, a fucking radio fuzzes out, and you're like, well, what? What was you going to get to? Come on, and you've
Yeah,
got to
and
crack on.
so it's another good example of that dilemma of storytelling in VR and how you do it and how you focus the player's attention. And still to this day, Sushi Ben I think does it the best with its panels, and it just I kind of almost want her to say on the radio, like, did you catch that, or do you want me to go through that again for you? Do you want me to repeat that? And I know that would be a bit immersion breaking, but sometimes because I'll be there like faffing about with the gravity gun trying to get GPUs, or I'll be like there's those little laser cactus things that you have to try and shoot and stuff, and she'll be trying to explain something, and I'm like, just shut up, I'm just busy trying to sort this out. I'm just trying to
Just
just
press a
doing this,
button
and
for her to
then
wait.
because you don't know, sometimes it's just a bit kind of like mindless chatter, and then sometimes you're like, oh, hold on a minute, that sounded important. Go back. Say that again. But there's no way to kind of interact with it and just say, like, hold on a minute, can you repeat that? And I kind of wish what would be really good in this game if there was like kind of like a diary log where if he was kind of writing down the thoughts. I love it in games where you can kind of check a menu and it's updating on the fly as you go along as more
Yeah,
information gets added to it, and so you can just kind of recap and reread something, and then if you have missed something important, okay, it's all just written down and you can just read it. That for me is a really good accessibility feature, because if you are just kind of concentrating on one thing and then she's saying something else and you're not really paying full attention, and this is quite complicated what they're talking about, and the way that it's combines dishing out story with the diary audio, the diary logs, there you can miss them potentially, or you just have to sit there and have to read them. So again, it's like
yeah.
I
I
just
wish you
want
could
some
put
all
them.
of this stuff that I'm learning, just centralize it and let me
Yeah,
read it, like read it back again.
yeah. Because I found it quite annoying every time I was picking up the like the diary logs. There was nowhere to store them. You just kind of drop on the floor, and you're like, well, I don't want to read that now.
Can
I
you
want
not?
to
You
kind of.
put them in your back, can't you? I'm sure I put them in the back.
I went to do that. You just fell back on the
You,
floor. Am I doing it wrong?
no, you can stick them in the backpack. You can reread them. It's on the menu. Diary logs.
I've been fucking doing it
Maybe
wrong
it's
then.
a new. Maybe that's a new thing they've added. I don't know.
I was dropping them on the floor like a bloody idiot. So yeah, blame me on that one. Okay, there is a place. Ignore me. Clearly, I'm not
But
putting
yeah,
my
just
back.
that whole,
I'm fucking launching it over my back.
because it's like this kind of world went to shit like 20 years ago in this game, and the guy you're playing is presumably like in this kind of. He sounds quite old. He sounds like in his 40s or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can't remember anything for the last 20 years. It's like, well, hold on. What point has your amnesia taken you back to? It seems very convenient that it's taken you back to a point where you
Know how to
know
use a
how the
gun.
world works and how to use a gun and everything. So you're kind of, it's taking you exactly back to where I am in understanding what this world is, which seems
Yeah.
very, it's just so like silly and contrived and convenient. And then she just kind of has to explain to the character, entirely for my benefit as the player. And I'm like, oh, this just kind of could have been more elegant ways to do this and stuff. Like maybe I could have been, I don't know. I have no idea how to do it. I'm not a developer, but it's just a bit like eye rolly where it's just like, oh, I've got complete amnesia. Can you please explain to me why the world is like this? And then someone on the radio just conveniently goes through it all for you.
I think Jamie explained that the dialogue quite well in his review because he said it almost reminds me of like an old Metal Gear Solid game where like the character will say one thing to you, but then your character will kind of respond it back, but in the form of a question, or like he's confused about the situation. And now that he said that, it's all I can think of. Like now that I listen to it, I'm like, for fuck's sake! It's like people start pointing out things with these games for me to just kind of have like a complete mind blowing moment where I'm like, crying out loud, why are you doing this?
Well, there's a thing apparently Netflix are kind of having to they're kind of changing how they write stories, and just screenwriters are changing things now because they're conscious of the fact that people are watching Netflix whilst they're also on their phone and they're scrolling and they're doing multiple things at once. And
yeah, that's TV for you, mate.
Yeah, I hate that. But I hate scrolling my phone whilst I'm watching TV. If I'm watching TV, if I'm watching like a drama or something, I want to focus on that. But when you're in VR, you are listening to a story someone's telling you over the headset whilst I'm doing shit, like I'm doing other stuff. So yeah, they need to take a leaf at that, Black, and just like you can't repeat this enough. If there's something important, just keep telling me it. And you might think you're overdoing it, but trust me, like someone will have missed the first 2 or 3 times you've told me what's something important. Like even to stay, like even now, I'm like, I know I'm getting into some server room, but I'm like, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm really enjoying it, having a great time, so I don't care. But I'm like, I'm not 100% what mission this guy's on and what I'm trying to achieve here. I know I'm trying to sort of defeat this AI, but what the kind of the point of my actions right now in the moment, where am I heading to? There's no like quest log or quest marker or something to say like here's the world. I'm scribbling down my thoughts and what I'm learning about the world, but also here's the journey that I'm on. Here's my next objective. Here's the ultimate objective we're trying to do, and here's my next objective to help build towards that. That I think if you can just pause a game and just learn that stuff, or pull out a notebook and read that sort of stuff, that is so important. And so I'm not criticizing this team because there's only 5 of them, but just from a VR development standpoint and storytelling standpoint, just having some way to sort of quest log stuff, I think is so important for players.
Yeah, I mean, to go from the point, I mean, we would criticize a team of 5 people. It doesn't necessarily make a difference, but the game is decent, so like it's
no, I'm not. I'm just saying, for me,
it's only 5 people. It doesn't matter.
I just don't want to be too like people think I'm being paid by the developers or anything. It's not a perfect game, but I think that it's as good a game as 5 people can possibly make. But I think that's, if I'd like to see if they were going to make a sequel, or if they could take up more feedback and make even more updates to it. That's the thing that for me I would really appreciate and value. It's just that way to quest log stuff. And that's about it, really.
I think
that's the only thing.
Like it's weird, and again, I want to take this from the point that I've played this on other platforms first, and this is probably why. But I feel like this time I'm playing it, I'm finding what I'm doing very mundane and repetitive. But bear in mind, what I'm doing at the moment is something I've done completely before. So that could be the reason I'm finding it that way. Obviously, I'll come back to that when I get past back to my point where I was, and hopefully at that point the excitement ensues where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen next? Whereas now I'm kind of like, for fuck's sake, you want me to use my gravity glove again? You want me to open this door again? You want me to do this? That kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and I guess I should apologise if people are hearing the noise. There's fireworks display going on outside my house. It's fucking.
I thought someone was trying to break in.
It sounds like I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is going on outside my window?
I was going to stop you for a second. Laurie, mate, do you want to I was going to be like, do you want to kind of go check your front door? Because it sounds like someone's trying to break in. Like,
actually, I've just
2 burglars just walk up behind you, like, hey.
Yeah, the VR world is just now just blending into the real world, and I'm now just under attack by AI sentient spiders. No, that's not what's happening. It's fireworks night. So
it is.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because you seem cooler on it than I am, but for me, I'm like, this is like one of my favorite VR things I've played. It's totally hooked me, and I love it, and I just want to keep playing it. But I can understand it might be the sort of thing that's kind of a one and done experience, and if you kind of the impact of it gets ruined somewhat, or watered down at least.
I think that's what I'm feeling with it at the moment. I don't think it's a bad game at all. That's not what I'm getting at here. So if anyone is thinking that from me, that's not what I'm thinking. It's not a bad game. It has its quirks, but replaying the same section again, I'm just kind of like, just get me back to where I was. So I'm kind of like just trying to rush for it. So I think at this point in time, it's not a point of enjoyment. It's a point of necessity. But either
Yeah.
way, I know what I played the first time, even though I played on the Quest. I enjoyed it and I thought it was really bloody cool. So yeah, take that more so than the way my kind of like at the moment. It's still a good
Mm-hmm.
game. I'm having fun with it. The guns are good. You know, the data world, like you said, all that kind of stuff is really cool, and I think they have made a really cool game. There are some bits that I'm like, you know, wish you did that different, or wish you did the design a little bit different. But again, I understand it's budgeting issues and things like that. So still, it's one I would recommend to people to pick up, especially if you want like a decent length campaign for you to enjoy, other than those quick little games you play and you kind of like, I spent £25 on something that lasts me 2 hours. You know, this is something you're going to spend. You know, I'm not too sure what the price is actually, but it's something you're going to spend your money on. You're going to be getting a decent length from the game.
I thought Ghost World was easily going to be my VR game of the year. I didn't think anyone was going to beat that.
No,
But
you're going to say it's
I
beating
think
it.
this. I think well, so far, see if it, by the end of the campaign if it holds up. But I like. I think this is one of my favorite games I've played in VR. This is in my top
Damn,
somewhere.
Joe, I
And
genuinely
like it's
thought nothing would beat Ghost World for you. Ghost Town, not World, Ghost World.
Ghost Town, yeah, Ghost Town, yeah, Ghost World. That's a
Ghost
film
World's a
made
theme park.
back in the 90s. Yeah, Ghost Town. Yeah, no, me too. But I seriously, I really love it. So it's like I know you're a bit cooler on it, and I think that's just the style of game because your kind of shooters that you're into. This isn't what it's like, and I hate those kind of fast-paced action shooters. But this is a shooter, but it's a much more slower-paced, interspersed with some exploration and climbing, and yeah. So that it absolutely nails the blend for me. That it's my exact mix of what I want from a game. So yeah, I love it, and I'm still enjoying Reach a lot, and I'm still absolutely loving this. So just from out of nowhere, just kind of my VR is just like all I want to play at the moment.
Yeah,
It's great to see.
it's weird because obviously not had you on for a while, and then 2 weeks in a row, and I think this is the ones I said to you. Would you be interested? It's quite the next best thing, next big thing in on PSVR2. Well, I consider it one of the next big things. I'm so happy you've kind of taken to it because, yeah, it definitely deserves it. It's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So should we give it a seal of approval?
100%.
Even though you haven't finished yet, from right now, unless it kind of falls off a
Well,
cliff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Unless it well, I'm relying on you because you tell me that it kind of holds up.
yeah. It gets. I find it
Throughout.
gets stronger as it goes on.
I've been messaging you like, Reece, does it stay this good all the way through? Does it nail the ending? And
I've found like from
you're telling me
like
it does.
where I haven't finished the quest, like I found like the points as I've progressed have got better as it goes on. More so like the beginning part of the game. I find the beginning first few bits a bit kind of like more like a long tutorial of what you're doing and introducing you to this world, and then it kind of picks up. So yeah, I think you're gonna leave it being very happy. I'm actually really excited to see you finish it. To be fair.
Yeah, me too. And I think this is probably going to. I don't usually play the VR games that are this long, so
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to.
it's a bit over my soft. It's a bit over my my comfort point for a length of VR game. I'm very much between a 5 to 8 hour person on a VR game.
Yeah, it could have been a bit shorter and yeah, I don't know why they always feel like they need to make it.
Yeah, because I just done Memoriam this year as well, and that was 10 hours plus, and that's a game that I would say has one of the best stories in VR that I've experienced in a long time. And you know, I was kind of like, oh, I don't really want another long VR game to play, even though it didn't take me 10 hours to finish it. It took me 7.5, but I had already played the first few chapters, so I rushed through them. So yeah.
I just think like compared to what you said about like Metro, which is a sort of similar sort of game, and obviously Metro has much more impressive graphics. There's much more going on in the scenes. You've got other humans that you talk to, which this game doesn't have. Like I realise that must be quite a difficult thing for a developer to make convincing humans that you can interact with and talk to. So this is not as technically accomplished as Metro, but it's a much more enjoyable video game for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably up there more so than some other games that have released in the past few years. And again, 5 people, crazy. So,
yeah, like if Sony just like employ these 5 people and just
yeah.
give them all the money, just make them a PlayStation studio and just pass off some people from Firesprite and say, "Go on, next game, you guys are going to have a team from Firesprite," and like Sony with VR, they should take a leaf out of Xbox's book. Don't make exclusives because they're clearly not bothered about making PSVR2 into a a powerhouse of a thing. But they've got talented VR developers. They got they can make games, and it's in their interest for VR as a medium to carry on. And I just would love to see them take a leaf out of Xbox's book and just make multi-platform VR games. Put Horizon on PC for God's sake, and GT7 on PC VR, and then just like little stuff like this. Just so much opportunity there to just get talented people and just give them some resources and some extra people behind them, and they can just create something truly special. Because if this had a PlayStation Studios logo at the start of it, and a little bit more polish and a bit more of a kind of I don't know what that kind of secret sauce, then people would be absolutely obsessed with it, and it would have such a huge profile, and it could easily pass off. They could have passed it off as a PlayStation Studios game with that bit of extra development resources that would give them. So yeah, if you kind of just applied a bit of the kind of Fire Sprite, Call of the Mountain magic to this, and you would have had something really, really system selling.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. Bloody cat. So should we move on?
Yes, let's move on.
I do find it funny because she's like, I'm ready to gush over Flyers of Rain, and yeah, I think you have.
Yep.
Yeah, great game.
Yep.
Go pick it up.
I promise you, they have not paid me to say this.
No, how you say it? We have had no funding towards us to say anything good about the game. It is just a genuinely good game.
But thank you for providing a code for the game.
Yes, very kind of you.
To play it.
So news-wise, we have got PSVR Legacy of Shadow has been given Legacy of is it Shadow or Shadows? One of the two. It's releasing on the 4th of December. So they're always aiming for a 2025 release. I think a lot of people were kind of like hoping that they would push it back, not because of any reason other than so much stuff coming out. But yeah, happy to see it releasing. I had fun with it. I played at the VR game showcase that I went to try it in the live event when I tried that and Reach. I had a good time with it on the PSVR2 then. Got to meet some of the team.
I think it's good that it's coming out this year, because if you look back to last year, what do we get? Alien, Metro, and Behemoth. But okay, Metro was the release of the last year, I think.
I think that and Behemoth are probably Behemoth is probably one of them as well.
And I think this year we've got Reach and Thief are the two kind of PSVR2. I know there's Deadpool on Quest as well, but for PSVR2, and I put Lies of Rain up there as well as kind of 2 or 3 big things to be playing there at the end of the year. But yeah, I think it is good that the holiday season has got another big VR game. This one looks really nice as well. Yeah, it got the PS blog treatment, talking about it, and all the PS5 improvements to it. I love the comment. I love the comment they made in that blog post. They said, "Oh yeah, it's you get a gameplay advantage because of the OLED screens. Just you can really feel like you're hiding in the shadows." And I'm like, "Shut up! Stop trying to just like stand out." It's like,
PlayStation made us say that.
Yeah, so it's like yeah, okay. Your OLED screens are very nice. It makes it very black, but this doesn't give you any kind of gameplay advantage.
No,
So I think they literally use the word advantage because of those OLED screens. It's like, I don't think that's going to be that big a difference.
It was nice to try this early on a PSVR2 as well, because I mean, majority of the time when you go to events and things like that, it's always a Quest headset, it's always a something on a PC. So it's nice to try this on a PSVR2. And the first 2 levels that I got to try, it showed a lot of promise and a lot of it gave them a really good foundation. That's what we kind of walked away as a good foundation for the game. But we also were told that's an early build that we played, so we're kind of all left really excited for what the next build was going to be like. And seeing the trailer and things like that, I'm still excited, but I'm also like, I need to play this in the headset to kind of get a feel for it, because I think it's one of them games where like I look at the trailer, like it looks cool, but I need to be sneaking around in that darkness. I need to kind of experience that one to get any kind of feel for it.
I thought the trailer was very good. Usually VR trailers are very hard to capture it, because whoever's recorded this, they've managed to keep their head perfectly still. It's like they kind of
just put it on a pedestal, didn't they? Just held it straight.
Well, maybe maybe that's how they do it, or maybe they just fake it and it's not faked, but it's like in the engine and they're controlling it, the camera with, just artificially, and it's not actually someone playing it. But I always think that's the hardest thing, because usually if someone's playing it, their heads jerk around all over, like on the PSVR2, where you see someone, you have the image on screen and you're watching someone else play it. God, it looks horrible because it's just jumping around all over the place. And as someone's eyes are moving around. But this looks really good. I like the whole kind of sneaky through windows. You can snuff out the fires and distract the guards, create darkness for yourself, and then also the guards move off their patrol routes to relight the fire, and then you can sneak
Yeah,
past them. So it looks a lot of fun.
it
They
was.
put out a Quest version of the trailer as well, and it looks remarkably good on Quest as well. And I think they've kind of developed it first and foremost for Quest, and then
Yeah,
they've put some enhancements in for PSVR2. But I don't think it's maybe when you get in the headset it might be different, but certainly like with Reach, when you play that on Quest, it looks much. You can see the difference in quality. Whereas on this, the two trailers they put out, they look as good as each other to me. A bit like Metro, that was like that as well on Quest, didn't it? That looks remarkably good on Quest.
yeah. No, they did have a Quest version for us to try, but I was like, I'm trying the PSVR2 version. I feel like I don't need to. And I think Gamertag tried it, and he said something in his video. I can't remember the specifications of what he said, but he tried both versions when we were there. Yeah, I don't know, like for somebody who likes the Thief games as well, I walked away happy. I walked away feeling like I was in a Thief world when playing it. I had a few hiccups, which the developers all saw and things like that, which was obviously great because they got first hand of what issues were being had by the players. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just left me excited. So I am happy it's coming this year. Obviously, I mean, as we were saying before the show, December the 4th. I mean, cutting it close to my moving date, so I'm literally going to have to rush back to my house, get the PlayStation set up, and be like, "Yep, see you later, everyone."
Well, that
Crack on
might, the
play.
Quest might make it be more convenient for you.
Yeah,
You
probably
might
will
have the
do.
TV set up by that point.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do the Quest version.
But I mean, like, if it runs well on the Quest, if it looks good on the Quest, I'd probably rather play it there. And stuff like Batman and Assassin's
Batman's
Creed
great.
and Metro, they
That's
show you they can look and run games great on the Quest. Um, so if it looks as good as like Batman does, I'd rather play it there. But it's good to know that the PSVR2 version will be looking really nice as well. So I've never played the Thief game. I really want to play this one though. I will not play it if it's going to be full of bugs and glitches and need more work. If they put out that statement the day after release saying, "Yeah, we know it's broken, but bear with us." I'm still waiting to play Wanderer. That got a new patch. I think it got
Aren't
its new
we
patch, didn't it?
all?
Because it came out on PC this week, and I think it had a new
Yeah.
patch to go with that. So there have been some improvements to it, but I haven't jumped back in yet. I'm waiting for the big patch too. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I hope FIFA the push they've been giving it. I hope it launches in a good state. Doesn't need loads of extra work post release, but we'll wait and see.
Well, talking of patches, a game did just receive its first patch, and that is Reach.
Yeah,
Yeah, happy it did.
yeah, I'm glad to hear that because a lot of the reviewers
Yeah,
experience the same problems. Gamer Tag and Jammy and yourself, just around kind of saves, not the quick save, not working properly. Um, Later levels as well. There's a few kind of janky bits. So I'm about 50% of the way through the game. So I'm glad that they've addressed some of the stability issues, and I didn't have any problems in the first half of it that I played. So hopefully that's going to continue now for the second half of the game. That's been patched as well. So
yeah.
fingers crossed.
So the patch is meant to be fixing. It says meant to fix soft locks, which I know a lot of people were having. I had one where I was dying after loading the game. There's a bunch of bugs, missing audio, which is I'm so happy they're doing that one because even though I had a bug that nearly made me restart the game, the missing audio at the end of the game was a killer for me. It made every fight scene just an absolute bore. Um,
Yeah.
Crashes, I didn't get any crashes, so can't really comment on that one. But it does say visual enhancements I've mentioned. This addresses a PlayStation VR2 specific issue where save data was being lost, and there's a new chapter select feature as well, and save files can now be copied into another slot as well. So they've
Hmm.
taken on a lot of feedback and things like that, and they've really jumped on and just okay, we need to get this sorted. And I'm glad they have because a lot of people are saying it's not a good game, and I don't think that's really the case. I think Reach is a good game. I think it just didn't release in a good state. I think once it's all ironed out, I think overall the game itself, the story, the gameplay element, I think it's a fun game. It's a decent game, and it does feel very, kind of big on terms of spending.
Yeah, yeah, as someone it was the first game I played after quite a prolonged break from VR. I think people are crazy. I think the game's incredible. I don't know what, like maybe if you play games all the time, and there's pretty maybe there's better games out there. But for me, it's kind of my exact mix of it's quite story and combat and exploration and a bit of like puzzling. That for me is what I don't like these fast paced shooters or these horror
Yeah,
games. This is the genre of VR game that is made for me. So yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I do think it's got that kind of production values and that kind of that sort of blockbuster feel
it
to
does.
it.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so I really recommend checking it out. And as I said to you on our little WhatsApp group, I think like now looking back, even at this point in the year, we've still got Deadpool to come. But I think we've got stuff like and FIFA as well. So FIFA and Deadpool still to come. But with Of Lies and Rain, with Reach, with stuff like Ghost Town, and earlier in the year we had stuff like Hitman and Midnight Walk and
Yeah,
Arcane Age. I think it's been a fantastic year for
it
VR.
has,
It's a problem that there's been so many other games that I've wanted to play this year, and it's like it's impossible trying to keep up
dude.
and play everything. And I think VR is for me is the hardest thing to get hours under my belt for. When I've got Game Pass this year, it's been absolutely on fire on my Xbox. That's been my most played thing, but there's been Ghost of Yoto, which I've put about 40 hours in already since that came out. So it's just trying to find the time for all this stuff. But I think yeah, for normal people that are juggling and sort of managing to play VR around other stuff as well, I don't think they need endless games. I think the half a dozen games that have been absolutely fantastic. Those ones I just mentioned, and obviously there's loads of other games as well that I've just not even mentioned. But for me, those are my standouts.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. Like for this year, like I mean, I last year I think I was pretty much 95 to 98% always playing VR games whenever I was gaming. Whereas this year, I'd say I'm probably sitting at somewhere like 80% because whenever I'm not doing VR stuff or playing a new VR release, I keep finding myself going back to like some PC releases that have came out and some non VR
Yeah,
stuff,
you've been playing a
which
lot of June, haven't you?
yeah, I'm still playing it. Still playing it. We had a little bit of a break for about maybe a week or two, only hopping on to kind of do the stuff to keep our base all steady. And we jumped on last night and ended up playing till 3:30 in the morning. Like it's got that sauce, as people say. It has something that just keeps me addicted, and it's always great as well when you can play a game that your partner's enjoying as well because we just kind of just chill out, have a nice chat, just play this game together, and I'm all for that. So yeah, I agree. This year for gaming for me, I think has been very decent. Like I can't complain about it. I mean, obviously we had Doom as well at the beginning of the year, which was great fun. It's just been so much, so much. But we talk about what we've been playing this week.
Well, I've been playing about Lies of Rain. I can talk about that some more if you like. No, I've
Okay.
done. No, we're done for that today. The only other game that I've played on VR that you kind of got me code for is Rush. That
Yes.
what would you call it? Kind of, I don't know. What would be the sport that you're doing? The extreme
Wingsuit.
sport. Your wingsuit. That's it. Yeah, you're kind of like skydiving in a wingsuit. So you're jumping off mountains and then floating down these valleys and stuff, going through checkpoints. It's a bit like Pilot Wings, I suppose. Pilot Wings VR. I'm going to call it. It's very cool though, isn't it? It's looks gorgeous on PSVR2. Again, maybe it's a pro enhancement, but the graphics are super crisp
I
for it.
believe
It's
there
some of the
is.
nicest cleanest looking graphics I've seen in a long time on it.
Yeah, and bear in mind this was a PSVR1 game originally. Like this has
Was
been,
it?
yeah, it's
Okay.
been
Didn't
remastered.
realize that.
Yeah, so it basically Binary Mill got a lot of requests after they released Into Black. Just people constantly saying re-release Rush. So they went quiet for about a month, and then all of a sudden just announced it, and everybody went mad because it's one of them VR games. It's a great community game as well, especially when you play it online. You have everyone just
Yeah.
chatting, and there's no better feeling when you're playing this game with 10. I think it's 12 people, but I played it with 10. So you'd be all going through the air, and all of a sudden you just hear somebody going, "Oh fuck, fuck, fuck," and then you just hear them cut out because they've just smashed into a tree or smashed into a rock.
He did now. He did.
It's just bloody hilarious every single time, and it was just constantly that we'd have some people just start at the match and then just like instantly in the wait out area where you just kind of talking to the other players, and it's just I don't know. There's no better feeling just hearing somebody go like, "Oh, just fucking just skim the tree," but like it's again, you remember that you're saying risk and reward. This is a game that very much works on that because you want to get your boost. By getting your boost, you've got to be more risky because you have to go close to surfaces and things like that, and it makes.
Yeah, and when you're in a competitive multiplayer game as well, you know someone will be there just like properly nailing it every time.
Oh yeah,
So you
there was
can't
one
just play
person who was
safe.
yeah.
You've got to play safe. You've got to go for it, and that just then causes you to crash out more likely and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's
Again,
yeah,
like
I suppose.
I just want to say like, about Binary Mill, like they have really shot themselves up to be one of the best people releasing games on the PSVR2. They're another
Mm,
studio they take everything into account with the PSVR2 from head haptics, like on this
Head
when
haptics
lightning
on this.
happens and things like that, your head haptics
Yeah,
go
in the
off.
storm, or when you fly through a waterfall and you can
Yeah,
feel the water in your head. That was
mate.
such a good effect, and that happened. That really surprised me because I think that was the first thing I noticed it. And then the next level, there was a big storm, and like the rain was pelting down on because you have the kind of 3D effectively. You're wearing this helmet. You're wearing like a crash helmet,
Yeah,
and that looks really convincing. You're seeing the game through that helmet. But then when the rain's pelting down on the helmet, you can kind of feel it, and it's just like I am wearing a helmet. It's just
it's
it's so good.
fantastic. It's like I just think they're like, I mean, when they released Into Black, me and Alex were absolutely addicted to that, and we spoke very highly of that. And I think this is another title where they've just kind of went, Joe, let's do it again. Add everything to it for the PSVR2. And I think people are going to absolutely love it. I think people that have played it previously are going to love it again. I think people that are jumping for the first time are going to have such a fantastic time. Because, I mean, I didn't play this on the PSVR1. It released at a point where I just wasn't really interested in playing VR as much back then on the PSVR1. So for it to come out again now, I'm extremely happy. And again, this is one of the ones I will say play in multiplayer. Because I joined the lobby and Jamie was there. And instantly as I joined, this fucker is just shooting me with it. You get these little Nerf dart guns.
Yeah, I know. I love the little Nerf guns. They're a lot of fun, aren't they?
If somebody shoots you with it,
Designed
it covers
to
your
dick
visor.
about.
It covers your visor when you get shot with it. So, like, all of a sudden, my whole field of view is just these fucking yellow darts that are just on my face, and you can't pull them off. They're just there. And then people are just throwing cans, and you see the liquid just drizzling down
it's
your
just
head.
nails that kind of party, just
Yeah,
everyone dicking about and
it's
just
just a
being
good.
silly mechanic. It's great.
And we don't have much of that on the PSVR2. We don't have many of these community games where you can just all jump in, have a laugh, have a chat with your friends, and just play this game that's not going to take much of your brain power to do because it's very much, there's very good accessibility controls for it. You can change the way you glide and all that kind of stuff. And I think to have something like this on VR, especially, is needed because, especially with the PSVR2, like I said, you don't have that many party games. So I'm all for it. Having a fantastic time.
What I will say about this game is you have to play the whole game with your arms out in the air unless you kind of put the head steering or the way you can different options and stuff. But generally, you play it with your arms in the air.
Feeling that.
You lift them up to go up and down to go down and to tilt side. You like you're going, yeah, like you're flying an airplane like a little kid.
Yeah.
But
so if anyone walks in, you look like an absolute muppet.
Oh yeah, well it's part of the course, isn't it, VR?
Yeah.
But I've been to the gym on Friday and I'd done arm day as I was playing it yesterday, and I thought I did 3 races and I was like, I can't play this anymore. My arms are absolutely killing me. Holding my arms out. It's my arms were probably sore anyway, but I managed like 3 races. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. Getting to the end of the race was quite an endurance for me. Just like, oh god, I really want to put my arms down.
It was funny because like when I played it, I was playing with Brian from Without Parole. Miles was there. Jamie was there, and we were all constantly saying, "Okay, just one more because I've got to go off and do something." I can't remember what I had to do, but Miles had to go do a stream. Brian had to prepare for his stream. Jan, I think, was trying to finish a review for a game, so we're like, "We need one more, and that's it." I think we all said one more about 10 bloody times until eventually I got kicked from the game.
Sign of a good game.
It loaded me in. I was playing it, and I could hear everyone, but then all of a sudden it said you've been kicked for inactivity, even though I was playing the game. So it was really odd. But it was just everyone was just like just one more, and I think they carried on playing for a few more after it kicked me from the game. But I was like kind of thankful it did kick me because otherwise that could have been dangerous. I could have been there all night. Yeah, absolute blast. Just another one to pick up. It really is. Any more to say on that one?
No, yeah, you nailed it there. It's a great fun party game if you've got mates that you can play it with as well. Fantastic. You can, but I think it's pretty fun just playing it single player.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Some more single.
Yeah, I've got 2 of the courses open now, and I like the fact that you have different courses and there's lots of different routes through them all, and you kind of think you might think it's going to get a bit boring, keep doing the same route, but actually the routes they devise can get really tricky and really hard and stuff, and you see different sites of it. So you have there's 5 or 5, I think there's 5 worlds, but within that there's dozens and dozens of races, track layouts and stuff that you're doing, and it's all in the same area, but the routes you take to get through the canyons and the trees that you're sort of scooting in and out of. And I will say the second world, which I've unlocked, is the mountain world, is significantly harder than the first one. So I can imagine by the time you're in the last one unlocked, God knows what that's
some
like,
of those drops as well, like at the start, when you start it before it makes you drop off, and you kind of like, do you ever like just look down off the cliff and
how
like,
do I get down that quickly?
look off the cliff and you're like, fucking hell, that's a big drop. Like I very rarely kind of look like at drops in VR games, but like whoa.
Yeah.
But like with this,
Yeah, I think
you're
if you
jumping
like
off it.
Pilot Wings, if you liked Pilot Wings back in the day, then I think it's quite cool. Just, even if you're not interested in the race mechanic of it, just to kind of soar through the world and just fly. It's a really cool VR sensation.
Yeah,
I think it would be a good one to just put non VR people if they want to sort of jump in and sort of try a game out. Just put them in this, and it's a really fun sensation. It's a very much like it feels like it's a very realistic kind of sensation. The way that you control it with your arms out, it's very easy to explain and to convey to someone. If someone watches you do it once, they'll be like, okay, I get it, and then they can
yeah,
jump straight in and play it themselves. So it'll be a good one to get other people that want to have a go in VR. And yeah, the sensation that it makes you just feel like you're flying through the air, the stuff that it does with the kind of haptics to try and reinforce that illusion is really cleverly done. So yeah, even if you're not really into the party stuff or the racing stuff, just as a flight sim game or a wingsuit game, I'd recommend giving it a try. They should put out a
yeah.
demo for it.
I think I think VR games need to start coming with demos more often. I think of Lies and Rain obviously has
There's quite a lot of them.
yeah,
There's
a
quite a
Lies and
lot
Rain
of
has
them.
a demo. I think it does a lot of favors. I've got one other game to
Oh,
talk
of
about.
Lies and Rain have as a demo. Okay, well, anyone that is this pod that hasn't played
Yeah.
of Lies and Rain, just download the demo and just give that a go. Just give that a go.
And funny
There's no
enough,
excuse not to try it out.
they did an update for the demo as well recently. So like, even though it's just a demo, they've updated it so it's more on par with like the actual release of what it's going to look like and play like as well.
Well,
So
I should hope so. Don't want to undersell people.
yep, so very good with that one. But got one more game to talk about before we do. If you'd like to support us, please give this podcast a sub on the service you're using. If you're not watching us on YouTube, then please remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and why not leave a comment too. You can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at CrossButton VR, and now also on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com. And you can go there to support us. And I ran out of breath. So this week, yeah, I need to lower this down. It's terrible, but yeah, you can go over there. You can support us. You can join Golo and Phil, who are monthly members. I think it's for a little as £2 a month. I think is the minimum they allow people to pay. Basically, it just helps us pay for the service and keep us doing these episodes. And I know they've been a little bit all over the place this year, but hopefully next year it should all be back on normal form. So thank you for everyone's understanding of that as well. I just want to be, yeah, you've all been great. So, last game to talk about. Drop Dead the Cabin. You ever heard this one?
I have not. Tell me what Drop Dead the Cabin's like. Doesn't sound like something I'm going to want to play.
No, you probably wouldn't.
Is it a horror game?
It's not. It's kind of like a Call of Duty Zombies in a way. It originally released on Quest with a mixed reality mode where it was that zombie game where they all break through your doors and things like that on the Quest. But basically what they've done is they've stripped that away, put it on PC, added it so I believe you can play in 4-player co-op now. And you can either play it in non-VR or VR. So I jumped in, played a little bit in VR, played a little bit in non-VR, just to kind of get a feel. I know we're obviously a predominantly VR kind of thing. We do mention some non-VR stuff here and there. I tried the hybrid version, and while it feels okay, it also kind of felt like I could play something a bit different rather than playing it. VR is the way to play this game, basically, is what I'm getting out of that, sounding harsh. And I think they know that when making it. I think they've just kind of tried to make it as accessible as possible for people to play VR and also people to play non-VR and join up together to keep that kind of server going and people squadding up. But yeah, you kind of go around this cabin, open doors, fortify it, secure it, do the energy cells, get different weapons, take out loads of different zombies, and it's quite fun.
It's Call of Duty Zombies, right? I'm looking at it now.
It's
Call of
much,
Duty Zombies.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
If you've ever played Call of Duty Zombies mode, then that's
on Call of Duty Zombies on a much lower budget, but still kind of does the exact same thing. Good with a group of friends if you can all have a laugh and you don't take games too seriously. Obviously, there's some little bits here and there that you might not be a big fan of, but I played a lot of this back on Quest. So like playing it again on PC, I was like, this doesn't feel like nothing new to me. And if anything, like playing the hybrid version, I tried the non-VR version first before jumping into PC. And while it does look better on PC VR, I just wanted to try the non-VR version because it was something I've not tried for this game. And I was just like, why would I play this in non-VR when I've got a VR headset sitting right next to me? I instantly just turned it off and went straight into VR. And yeah, it's the way to play it. So
it looks like something my son would absolutely love to play with his mates.
Yeah, it's definitely good fun.
They play death games like this on Fortnite and stuff. And yeah,
Fortnite.
Very excited. Very excitable. Yeah, he's starting to get into Fortnite now.
Has he bought the new Simpsons Battle Pass?
We've been playing The Simpsons World. He's not got the Battle Pass.
I need to have a look at the Simpsons World, just for pure
It's
nostalgia
quite
reason.
cool.
Yeah,
It is quite cool. Yeah.
I've got to take a look. So, but yeah, Drop Dead the Cabin, definitely worth picking up if you've got a group of friends to play it with. I wouldn't recommend buying it if you're playing solo, just because it can feel a bit lackluster. But again, any type of survival horde game like this, I'd recommend playing it with a friend anyway. Even if it was Call of Duty Zombies, I wouldn't say go out of your way and buy Call of Duty to play zombies solo. I'd always say play it with a friend. But yeah, good fun if you have a good group to join up with you. So yeah, that's that. Another week, another episode down.
Another week. Well, look, we're 30 seconds off 1 hour, so try and just time it.
Okay, right.
Exactly. We've got just 10 more seconds of waffle. And
Ready?
Maybe time you got the outro. You got the outro and the intro on there, then probably is going to.
Right, let's go. Thanks again for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could please tell your family and friends about us. If you'd like to get more involved, then please don't hesitate to drop into our Discord and say hi. Once again, thank you everyone for being here, listening. Bye. Hey, it was on an hour. Damn, it's went over now. Oh, we ruined it.
Sorry. I was prattling on about making it an hour long.
See you later, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.